This is the most secure shelter. To fend off the beasts in the jungle, a man uses 2 discarded tires to build a durable stone cabin. The interior space is not only enough for one person to live in, but also features a steel fireplace he hand-welded himself, serving both heating and cooking functions. One day, Mark found 2 discarded tractor tires from a local farm, and braving the light rain, slowly ventured into the depths of the jungle, finally stopping in a clearing to decide to build a new shelter. He first picked up a shovel and dug 2 grooves in the ground. He placed the tires in sequence to secure them as the walls on both sides of the cabin. Next, Mark moved many stones from nearby and an old wild iron pan, first pouring in sand. Then he went to a previously built shelter, where rainwater had already accumulated inside, naturally becoming his natural water reservoir. Mark filled a bucket with water, poured it into the sand, and stirred repeatedly to mix a moderately thick mud. He evenly applied it to the surface of the stones, layering it up to slowly build a thick wall. Once the clay dries, it will become extremely hard, binding the scattered stones together and reinforcing the wall's seams. After completing the back wall, Mark continued to use the shovel to dig a shallow pit in the clearing to further expand the internal space. Then he brought over a log and began building the front wall, first measuring the placement, then cutting the corresponding ends at both ends. He secured them in the holes of the tires on both sides. Next, using this beam as a base, he stood 2 logs vertically in the center position to serve as the doorframe for the entrance. Then he brought over the remaining 10 pieces, combined with clay, to seal the gaps on both sides of the frame, leaving only a single-person entry space in the middle. After all this work, Mark's stomach was growling with hunger, so he built a simple stove nearby and lit some dry wood. He first set up an iron pot, and then took out a pack of domestic beef balls made from soybeans. I now highly suspect there is a Chinese supermarket right at his doorstep. Not satisfied with just 1 pack of beef balls, he cooked a serving of beef rice to fill his stomach. After eating and drinking enough, Mark got up to continue working. He horizontally placed a thick log on top of the tires as the main beam for the roof. Then using this as a center, he extended more logs to both sides at regular intervals to build the support frame for the roof. To block the gaps between the logs, he first went to the complex. A nearby open space was used to store some vegetables, but this is not for eating. It is evenly spread over the roof frame as the first barrier against rain, and also provides good insulation. Then make some clay and evenly apply it to the roof surface. The hard and sealed characteristics of the clay after drying help prevent rainwater from seeping in. With the roof's natural slope, the risk of water accumulation is perfectly resolved. After completing the roof, Mark turned his attention to the tires on both sides. To block the open entrance in the middle, he first assembled a suitable frame with wooden pieces. Next, he stuffed the gaps in the frame with grass mixed with clay, which formed a solid wall after drying. During this time, he also specially reserved a position for the drainage outlet. On the other side, he reserved 2 ventilation openings. Mark then assembled the remaining wooden pieces to create a door panel, which greatly increased his sense of security. After finishing the construction of the small house, he moved in his handmade wall tent and placed it in a corner. He then installed a drainage pipe extending outside. After setting up the fireplace, he realized he still needed a bed to rest. So he quickly assembled 2 triangular frames with wooden pieces and placed them against one side of the wall as bed supports. Then he tightly arranged the prepared wooden pieces to create a sturdy single bed. After tidying up both inside and outside, Mark first laid out his sleeping bag and then brought over a wooden stump to serve as a small table, which was very convenient for dining or placing daily items. He then stuffed dry firewood into the fireplace and successfully ignited a flame. The temperature inside the house began to rise gradually. As the sky outside gradually darkened, Mark got up to close the wooden door and took out the pots and bowls he brought from his backpack to prepare dinner for the day. First, he cut some pork belly and stir-fried it to release the oil, then added potatoes and fried them until golden on both sides. Next, he added onions for flavor, and soon the aroma filled the entire small house. Finally, he added the crumpled and pressed vegetables into the pot to heat. A delicious home-cooked dish was completed. After eating and drinking enough, Mark got up to turn off the lights, lay back on the bed, and began his first night here.